Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Football Friday. I'm Coach Bobby Cole with BC4 Performance. Today we're going to be looking at Nolan Smith's 40-yard dash from the NFL Combine, which set the world on fire. Being a defensive lineman running a 4.44 is insane. So we want to look at today, what are the things that go into this and how is he able to do this? So the first thing, if we look at his body position, he does a very good job here of getting his butt up in the air, all right, his shoulders down over, his head down, and that's going to allow us, as we step out of that, to be able to stay in a good acceleration position and get ourselves forward versus standing up straight. All right, a lot of guys make the mistake if they have a flat back and they have their legs too far behind them, so when they go to stand up, they go from flat to standing up here, and right off the bat, you're going to start losing some energy. So when he takes these first couple steps, he's able to stay flat. And then here it's just acceleration, and then as he goes, he starts standing up once he hits that max speed. But the first couple steps, he's able to stay nice and low. All right. Second thing, if we watch the feet, does a very good job of, as he goes to explode off, our shins are working in the same plane. Okay, so shin angle is a huge thing. So both shins here are working in the same direction in that acceleration position that I just talked about. You want to make sure that you have that. If your feet are working where your back shin is pointing to the sky, or your front knee is pointing down, or vice versa. Your front knee is pointing to the sky and your back knee is pointing down. If those things are working in different angles, it's not going to help you explode and go out. All right. So same thing. If you were to do a squat, if you do a squat, your shins are going to work in the same plane. Your hips work in the same plane. If they worked in opposite ways, the bar would fall on you and you get hurt. So you always want to make sure that as you go to burst off, you're working in the same plane and working in that acceleration position that you want to go, which right here is what we have for Nolan Smith. All right. And then the third thing, especially with his burst off, is the stride length. Okay. So one major thing, guys, is his stride right off the bat, his first step reaches that first yard. So right off the bat, he's right down to 39 yards because he takes a very good big stride. And where he lands is directly underneath the midline of his body, right? So if we take the midline of his body from here to here, it's going to be right in the middle. So now when he lands in the middle of his body, now he has all this explosion in this leg, and he's able to push out and over and really get through. So now he can maximize his first few steps off the line and continue to accelerate and climb. All right, does the same thing on this step. All right, does a very good job. Foot directly under the midline of the body. He's able to balance that weight and explode out on every single step. So that's really what we want to see. Okay, we want to see that explosion. We want to make sure that we're still exploding in that acceleration position. All right, and continuing to burst, especially for those first 10 yards, to gain and maximize how much speed that we have on each of those steps. So then in the back end, as we straighten up, we're just continuing to just follow that speed that we have and just maintain it and land with that foot directly, same thing, underneath the midline of the body and not going too far out in front. All right, so right here, as you see, his foot, when it lands, that's directly under his hip. So now he's able to continue to move forward. He's not slowing himself down and just maintaining that great speed that he got when he first started out. So that's what goes into this. That's what made Nolan Smith's 40 so fast, and what allowed him to really get this time and shoot him up draft boards, because he just had great fundamentals, great technique. And that's what anyone can take for any of these levels. If you mimicked exactly what Nolan Smith was doing here, you would be able to increase your 40 time right off the bat.